What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are back with day 2 of the Vault Tour from Poland. These players have all gone, well, in round 1 they've all gone 5-1. They have made it into the second day of the Vault Tour, and we are going to be whittling down today 4 rounds until we get ourselves a winner. Now, what is really cool, there were 14 players that qualified for day 2, so not quite enough for a top 16. The good news is 2 of them went 6-0. So the 2 6-0s just go straight into top 8, and the 12 5-1s all play around to get the next 6 people, and then that puts us down to a top 8. I absolutely love that the people who got an extra win yesterday, the people who went 6-0 yesterday, don't have to play in the top 16. Essentially, everyone is going to move into the top 8 with 6 wins, but if you got your 6 wins yesterday, you don't need to worry about getting your 6th win today. If you got 5 wins yesterday, you need a 6th one now. On the left, we have got Dominic Cubis with Cloak Myra Maver Stopper, and on the right, although slightly obscured, I apologise, we have got Reen Farwa, that name seems a bit familiar, with Alps the Locksmith of Outer Glade. So, yeah, we got a couple of good players with a couple of good decks. Winner here goes straight into top 8. We are in day 2. We are in single elimination, and it really is rather simple. Yes, I was correct. Reen is actually going into this event the 8th placed finisher in the Vault Tour. So if you look at the Vault Tour ranking, Reen is actually currently number 8 with 865 points. But 7 is 870 and 6 is 895. So he's going to jump a few places. Of course, Rachel Trimble is number 4 with 975, and we know that she is still in the running. So Dominic went down, got a Gauntlet of Command down for Brobnar. Reen goes for Dis, and he gets himself a Bloodshard Imp, a Shula, and a... Oh. It's not Library of Babel, Library of the Damned. There we go. The one that lets you archive a card every turn. So setting himself up for a couple of future turns there, which I think is a good shout. Now, there are a few imps in the set, but that is Bloodshard Imp. After a creature reaps its owner must sacrifice it. False alarm, it has been taken down by a Nerve Blast, and Dominic has stolen the 1 amber that Reen actually had. Boo, hiss, etc. Shout out to the lovely folks from Crazy Killing Machine for providing the stream today. Also doing a cracking job with the hand cams. Those guys are pretty gosh darned awesome. So we see Perplexing Sophistry here, gains an amber, and because he has got more amber than his opponent, he discards a random card from the hand, which looked like an Orbital Bombardment, though we only got to see it for a second. So, we're very much in Shadows here. I mean, Shadows is a weird one, right? Because Shadows like stealing, but there's nothing to steal at the moment. So, yeah. It's a little bit awkward. So we see Whistling Darts come down, gets a damage on Shula, gets an amber, and Dominic ends his turn with 3 amber, no creatures, and a Gauntlet of Command. I think he'll take that as a nice little start. So there's just a bit of a question going on here. I think we're alright. I think we're good. We've got Dominic's playing Brobnar, Shadows, and Logos, and Reen on the right is playing Mars, Shadows, Dis. We only had 1 Mars on the stream yesterday. Nice to have another Mars coming in. And kind of interesting that even though we're sealed, we are still in an extremely Shadows-heavy meta. Other than that, though, we do have 5 of the 7 houses represented here. There is no Sanctum, and there is no Untamed. So back to Reen then, seems to be going Dis for a second time. He's using Shula, presumably to reap. And he is using Library of the Damned to archive a card. What does he have in his hand? Nothing that he wants to play. I thought I saw... Yeah, so there is at least 1 more this card in his hand, but he's choosing to just, he's done enough, reaping for one, archiving a card is all he wants. I mean, sometimes just a single archive can be the difference between winning and losing. It can mean that you've got a card that you desperately need later at the right time. Something like Too Much to Protect that you can drop when your opponent's about to forge a key could be the thing that actually ends up winning you the game. So I don't mind that play at all. So just getting an amber here, playing a shadows card. And that's it. So we've had a couple of extremely slow turns going on here. Just kind of, you know, I mean, we had one card played the last 2 turns with both players combined. So we do see, I assume that was a bait and switch? Or was that a swindled? No, I think that might have been a swindle. Steals 3 amber, it's got alpha and omega. It's quite interesting how often we see swindled as the only card played. Unfortunately, we cannot see Reen's discard pile. It is off to the side, so we have no idea, unfortunately, as to what is in their discard pile. Sorry. It's not my fault, though. I just can't see. Incidentally, the card that Dominic did play last time was Dust Chronicles. If your opponent has more amber than you, draw a card. If you have more than them, you archive a card. There we go. I didn't actually mention that on the last turn, so I thought it was worth pointing out. Now, we got a logos card coming down here. Gets himself a bonus amber. And there's a lot of just kind of getting bonus amber and playing kind of slowly and just... Yeah, it looks like it's mastered a theory. If there are no friendly creatures, you may archive a card for each enemy creature, which means he's now got 2 archived cards, one for the Dust Chronicles, one for Master the Theory. Not a card we see very often. It's a rare, they're only in like 2.5% of decks. I don't think I've seen Master the Theory on stream ever at this point. But, you know, if your opponent's got well, it's a weird one. I mean, it's quite good, but obviously you don't... The more you're archiving, the less you're actually playing. But I do like the fact that, you know, you're now drawing an extra card at the end of your turn, which is nice. And you got those cards archived. You can grab them out essentially whenever you like, which is kind of cool. Means you've always got access to it. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. So we are back over to Reen here, and we cannot see the discard pile, and that is making it extremely difficult to figure out what's going on here. That must have been a Binding Irons. Adding 3 chains, that is pretty huge. And then just drawing up until the end of the turn. So, with Dominic, we can see his discard pile. We know what he's playing, so that makes it quite easy to follow. With Reen, we actually can't at the moment, which is making things a lot more difficult. I will do the best I can, but at the moment, we don't have eyes on the discard pile. That is going to make it significantly more difficult to figure out, especially when, artifacts and creatures will hit the board, but when action cards are played, it's going to make things a lot more difficult, especially given that this is a sealed tournament, which means we don't have access to deck lists. It means that we can't figure out what he's playing from the deck list or from the discard pile. Wonderful. Okay, I did send a message to the people running the stream and tell them we couldn't see the discard pile, and then about 30 seconds later they moved it into play. Yes, Wossy fixing the stream. Okay, that's much, much better. So I think that's a banish that was played. So Ronnie Risk Locks comes down, grabs himself, steals 1 amber. If your opponent has 7 or more, you can steal 2. Hey-ho. Now, Sheds a Chain, draws 1 fewer card here, so he's drawing till 5 rather than 6. Sheds a Chain. And then, Binding Irons can be a very powerful card. It's one of those, it is actually limited. You're only actually able to get 2 copies of Binding Irons in any one deck. It's one of those things. We do that, well, I say we like I have any say in it. You do see that sometimes. Okay, so there are a couple of Shadows creatures down, but unfortunately they are both being taken out here. And yeah, this is nice. So Shula takes out a creature, an action takes out a creature, gives an amber bonus as well. And now we've not got either player forging here, but Reen has just put himself onto check, which helps a lot. Incidentally, that was a Gongoozle a second ago. You deal 3 damage to a creature. If it is not destroyed, the opponent discards a random card from their hand. Speaking of swindle, we got another swindled coming down here. I believe both players have played one now. So Dominic plays a swindle, steals 3 amber from Reen, and that is it, right? You get to forge a key if you got enough amber. You get to draw cards at the end of your turn like normal. But other than that, in terms of doing, swindled is just steal 3 amber. Having said that, Ronnie Risklocks just came down and stole 2 amber. Oh, and another Ronnie Risklocks comes down. And then a Knuckles Bolton. And a second, 2 Ronnie Risklocks and 2 Knuckles Bolton. That's a cool turn. So Reen there actually did exactly the same as Dominic did, in that he stole 3 amber. But because he did it with 2 Ronnie Risklocks, that wasn't the only thing he was allowed to do. So Dominic stole 3 amber, Reen stole them right back while getting 4 creatures of the same house on the board. That's pretty gosh darn huge, ladies and gentlemen. That turn for Reen there was so much better than Dominic's turn there. That's phenomenal. He did exactly what Dominic did while advancing board state. I mean, yeah. Got it going on, ladies and gentlemen. Got it going on. So, we do see... Ooh! I like that. So he's destroying all undamaged creatures, but taking a couple of chains. Bearing in mind, Dominic still had 2 chains from before. Oh, playing a Might Makes Right, that is a key cheating card. But if you want to forge a key, you do have to destroy creatures of yours with power 25 in total or higher. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, he literally has none. But gets the amber bonus. Reen here does have 6 amber to start the turn. Goes and forges a key straight off the bat. So, yeah. Reen takes a 1 key to nothing lead. And Dominic is chained. And this is not a perfect position to be in. You don't really want to be behind in the game and chained. Drawing cards gives you a big advantage. Now it looks like Dominic's actually got a complete hand of 5 logos cards. So unless he really wants to go using those artifacts, and he doesn't, he is definitely going to want to go logos here. I mean, there is potentially an argument for using Screech Bomb, because your opponent loses 2 amber. It's an Omni ability. But then again, his opponent has no amber. So Gauntlet of Command lets you ready and fight with a friendly creature. He's got no creatures. Screech Bomb lets you... well, it takes away 2 amber from your opponent. They lose it, you don't steal. But his opponent has no amber. All 5 of his cards in hand are logos. Probably fair to assume we're going to see a logos turn from Dominic here. This would be a perfect time to drop a Restring Guntus and choose logos. It would literally end the game. But, yeah, we're not actually there, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, never mind. Now, we've got Mars here for Reen. Got a couple of cards coming down for Amber, and it looks like very little else. Sky Booster Squadron, Agent Human, and a Collector Worm comes down. Reen draws to the end of their turn, and we're going back over to Dominic here. Yeah. That ain't bad, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good turn. You know, Reen building up board state, getting a battle line rolling, getting 3 creatures out, 1 key up. Dominic hasn't forged a key yet. We do see Igor coming down. Ooh, dropping Interdimensional Graft and Wild Wormhole. Those are two really good cards. But not for now. Well, actually, Wild Wormhole probably is good for now. Okay, so gets one of those, Oh, I was just reading that card yesterday, and for the life of me, the name of it escapes me. It is Scientifical Hack. It's got an Omni ability. You sacrifice it, and then you can use any friendly artifact that turn, which is a really good one. So Igor goes down, Titan Mechanic goes down, sorry, Archimedes goes down, Igor went down at the beginning of the turn. We've got a Titan Mechanic down there. Now, that is actually on a flank, which I really like this play from Dominic here. He's got 6 amber, and he's left Titan Mechanic on a flank, which means keys only cost 5 amber next turn. So, if Reen wants to stop Dominic forging, 2 amber need to be lost. It's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. It's not enough. Just received word, unfortunately, that Rachel Trimble, the Eindhoven Vault Tour champion who we saw on stream getting into day 2, has unfortunately bowed out in top 16. I don't have any other results for you, I'm afraid, but I can give you that one. So back over to Reen, we got another Sky Booster Squadron. We got a Zizic Shockworm. We got another Agent Who-Man. And Reen is starting to do that thing that good Mars decks do. Building up a big battle line of creatures and just taking advantage. So Collector Worm, when it fights, it archives the creature that it fights. And it's Archive Titan Mechanic, so now keys cost 6 again. We've now got Agent Who-Man. Now when you reap with it, you stun a friendly and an enemy non-Mars creature. So he stunned Igor there. Now, he should be stunning Shula as well as the only non-Mars creature. Yeah, that Shula should be stunned. Because Agent Who-Man, choose a friend. When you reap, choose a friendly non-Mars creature, an enemy non-Mars creature, stun the chosen creatures. So we do... Yeah, we do need a stun counter onto... We got a stun counter on the Igor, but we do need a stun counter on that Shula here. It was the only target from Agent Who-Man, so it had to be stunned. But now, if Dominic reaps of any of his creatures, they get stunned because of the Zizic Shockworm. Now, has forged a key, but there's a really good play from Reen there. He, used Collector Worm, got rid of a Titan Mechanic, forced Dominic to pay an extra amber in order to forge a key. That was a good play. Ooh, so Groggins goes down and we see a Champions Challenge. Champions Challenge, you basically get both players down to their most powerful creature, and then you ready and fight with your remaining creature. Okay, so didn't matter in the end. So we now get a Foozle down. Now remember, oh yes, I was going to say, Groggins should have some damage on. Now Foozle can double reap if a creature was destroyed. Gauntlet of Command readies Foozle. Oh, there's no one to fight, but I'm still ready. Then you can double reap. An excellent example of sequencing from Dominic here. The fact that he was able to clear the board with Champions Challenge, then play Foozle, then ready Foozle is brilliant. Oh, and then playing Drummernaut to pick up a friendly giant, that being Groggins, play it back down again with no damage on. That was a really, really strong turn from Dominic. Cleared Reen's board, built up a decent battle line of Brobnar creatures, forged a key, got a couple of amber. That was an incredibly strong turn. Now, Reen is still ahead. Because it's going into Reen's turn, it's got 2 more amber. So make no mistake about it, Reen is still in the better position. But, yeah. That was still a good turn from Dominic. Even though he's not put himself in an unassailable position, even though he's not put himself into winning the game, that was still a very, very strong turn there indeed. So, what's Reen going to come back with? Because might be up by 2 amber, but there's no creatures out. There's a Library of the Damned, or let him archive something. It's not close enough to the end of the game to be this not far ahead, if that makes sense. If you're really close to the end of the game, you can be slightly far ahead and it's alright. But when you've only forged 1 key, being up by 2 amber with a significantly worse board state doesn't exactly put you in a great position to win. Yes, Dominic has slightly less amber, but he's looking at the board just going, well, hang on a second. I got 3 creatures to his none. I've got a bunch of artifacts. He's actually got a memory chip down we haven't mentioned yet. Every time he selects logos as his active house, he archives a card. And bearing in mind, we've seen a bit of archiving from Dominic here. There's a very good chance he's building up to a very big turn with that archive. And that could be pretty huge. So, we see Library of the Damned letting Reen archive. Now, the problem with Reen archiving here is that the Collector Worm has been archiving Dominic's creatures. And if Reen picks up his archive, all those creatures go back to Dominic, and then he can play them straight away again. So that makes, Library of the Damned is great, and Collector Worm is great, but they have slightly opposed goals. That's a bit of an issue here. Trying to build up your own archive while archiving your opponent's creatures can be a bit of a problem. Oh, now we do see a dis upgrade here actually being played on 2. I don't think that's a Soul Keeper. And it's not a Collar of... Is it a Collar of... No, it's not a Collar of Subordination. The name's a bit too short. Without deck lists, it can be extremely difficult to identify what's actually being played. So it's got an amber bonus, so it's not Collar of Subordination. It might be Soul Keeper. I can't see any... I don't know if there are any other dis upgrades. It reads destroyed. When the creature is destroyed, you destroy the most powerful enemy creature. Now, that does mean that when Foozle's destroyed, it will then destroy one of Reen's creatures, if it is a Soul Keeper, which I think it might be. But kind of had to play it to get the amber bonus. Remember, that's what put Reen onto 6 amber, put him on check, put him in a position to forge. Yeah, unfortunately that Screech Bomb was sitting out there. He's got an Omni ability, use it. Reen goes down to 4 amber, doesn't forge a key. It's just not been an amber-heavy game so far. We've seen a few of these on stream this weekend. We've not seen an amber-heavy game at all. So we do see Foozle reaping. No creature was destroyed, so just a regular reap. We do see Groggins reaping. We do see Drummernaught reaping. And that's the advantage you've got when it is a slower game like this. Yeah. And because Drummernaught reaped, it allowed you to return a friendly giant creature to your hand. He obviously chose the Foozle to get rid of that upgrade. And it was a Soul Keeper. Okay. So, Dominic is in a good position. So, sounding the horns, just get an amber bonus. Now, to get a creature. So, yeah, discard cast on the top until you hit a creature, play it, blah, blah, blah. Gets himself another Groggins. And Dominic is now in a really, really good position. Because, now Sound the Horns is not a creature. It doesn't go on your battle line. Needs to go in the discard, Dominic. But he's got 4 creatures. And they're all of the same house. So he's got 7 amber. He's on check. And what he can do here is just reap, 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 reap. Every turn. Unless Reen stops him. So, Life for a Life comes down, cannot sacrifice a creature, cannot deal 6 damage. Life for a Life only does the 6 damage if you sacrifice a friendly... Yeah, they've realised it's not a creature. He plays down a Subtle Maul, which is good hand disruption, but it's not doing much now. Okay, now Ronnie wrist clocks. That is a phenomenal play. Now, all of a sudden, instead of Dominic having 7 amber and being on check, and Reen having 5... Reen is actually now gone up to 8 amber and is on check, and Dominic has gone down to 5. So Ronnie risk locks here. Oh no, I think there was another life for a life being played to get rid of Foozle. And he also played a Bone Rot Venom onto Drummernaut. After this creature is used, deal 2 damage to it. It's one of the... We saw, I think, 3 of them in Age of Ascension. These are upgrades that are played onto your opponent's creatures, and the entire point of it is you play them onto your opponent's creatures to try and hurt them, to try and slow them down, to try and put them in a bad position. So that's good going. And it was weird, right? During Dominic's last turn, I'm looking at it thinking, you know what? Dominic's in a fantastic position. And now in one turn, and Reen still doesn't have a battle line. But he's turning it all around. He's doing it pretty much exclusively with action cards. You know, Reen is playing this game largely with action cards. There was that one turn where he built up a great battle line of Mars cards, and then Champions Challenge ruined everything. So we are seeing Dominic here just reaping of his Brobnar creatures and then using Gauntlet of Command to get an extra reaping in. And he's actually got 2 Gauntlet of Command. So with those 3 creatures out, he's actually reaping 5 times. Reaps of all 3 of the creatures. Gauntlet of Command to ready one. Oh, there's no one to fight. Guess I'll reap. Gauntlet of Command to ready another one. Nothing to fight. Oh, I'll reap. And that's really what Dominic needs to do right now. Yes, Reen has forced his second key and is ahead in the game. But the fact of the matter is, at the moment, Dominic is in a better position. So Charette comes down to capture 3 amber. And now that does not take Dominic off of check, which is nice. So he's still going to be forging a key, and he does. And we see 2 copies of Amber Imp after an enemy creature reaps stun it. Now that is a really good play here, and they've both got elusive. Because now, if Dominic wants to keep reaping like he's reaping, he needs to take out those Ember Imp. Or Amber Imp. That was a really good play from Reen, because Reen was losing just to the quintuple Brobnar Reap. I mean, if Drummernaut reaps now, it takes 2 damage from the Bone Rot Venom, and gets stunned by the Imp. He needs a board wipe. Dominic needs a board wipe. Get the Ember back from Charette, take down the 2 Amber Imp. Now, what's he got? He's eyeing something up. So he plays down a Bramo. Now, the good news is that Bramo takes out the Amber Imp. The bad news is they weren't both on a flank. So, Drummernaut here is fighting to take out the Charette. No. Okay. Yeah, Drummernaut shouldn't be stunned because it... Okay, so Drummernaut reaped, which got stunned, to pick up the Bramo, takes out the Amber Imp, and... Has Reen just conceded? Yeah, Reen concedes. Reen says, you know what? There's nothing I can do. I've got too many cards that won't stop you, and you've got all the amber you need. You can sit there and just reap over and over again. You've got 2 Gauntlet of Command. You're going to have more than enough amber to forge a key at the end of this turn, and there is nothing I can do to stop you. And just like that, Dominic wins the game, and Reen is unfortunately eliminated. Which means that with Rachel and Reen, now Rachel is joint 4th on the Vault Tour leaderboard. Reen is currently 8th. Reen had a chance to overtake Rachel by winning another couple of rounds. Couldn't do it, but those 2 players will extend their stay in the top 10 at this stage. So congratulations to Dominic. If you're on the YouTube, comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter @TheWossy. Check out the Patreon. Look after yourselves till next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!